Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home. We'll talk about Huda. We'll talk about our way. Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home.
I don't have a watch on, but it's 3 o'clock in Cairo. I think it's 4 o'clock in Mecca. Maybe it's 6 o'clock in the Gulf, but you better know what time it is. It's time for Ramadan's Pulse. You guys, we're taking you all around the world. It's free here on Air Huda, not Huda TV. You guys, we took you in the first episode to beautiful Bosnia. We took you to Egypt. We took you to South Africa. We've taken you all around the world. Today's no different. We're going to take you to a very, very, very special country. Yesterday we took you to Malaysia. Today we're taking you around the globe. I'm not going to tell you where. You guys have to call in and start guessing. You guys haven't been calling in, so start calling in now at 002 02 38 555 248 or 249. That's 002 02 38 555 248 or 249. You guys don't have to talk about the country when you call in that we're talking about today. You can talk about your country and how you are experiencing and celebrating Ramadan in your country. Of course, the email is on your screen now, pulse@huda.tv. That's pulse@huda.tv. Don't forget our Facebook as well. The whole world is on Facebook these days. You can see the URL at the bottom of our screen now. You guys can see that URL once again at the bottom of our screen now. Of course, we're in the space age here at Huda TV. We're using Skype now as well. So you guys give us a Skype call and tell us, how do you celebrate Ramadan in your country? You want to unite the Muslim world and experience Ramadan in all these various beautiful Muslim and non-Muslim countries for that matter. We want to highlight Muslim communities wherever they are. So joining me today, we have a native of the country we're speaking about, Brother Qasim Dubraka.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I'm sorry, can you repronounce your name for you? I'm sorry.
Yes, it's Qasim or Qasim or Qasim or Kazam. There's a lot of, I've heard so many ways to say my name.
What about your last name, brother?
In Bosnian, it's Dobracha. In English, Dobraka. So whatever floats your boat.
Excellent. So actually, ethnically, you are from Bosnia, but now you live in a different country. But I don't want you to say the country that we're going to be talking about. We just want to give the viewer some hints about the country we're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, excellent. Very good. So let's talk about this country without saying it. Is this a big country or a small country?
It's a big country.
It's one of the biggest in the world?
One of the biggest countries in the world.
I have here, brother, that it's the second largest country in the world after Russia. Is that correct?
That's true.
What about the square kilometers? What do you think?
You want me to guess?
Yeah, it's a huge number.
Yeah, let's say 5 million kilometers.
It says 10 million here.
10 million, yeah, I can believe that.
I got that from CIA World Fact Book because I thought if anybody had good information about Muslims in the Muslim world and everything, it would be the CIA. Yeah. So hi guys, if you're watching now. Where is this country? What continent are we talking about? Are we in Asia? Are we in Europe? Are we in Africa? Where are we located, this country?
In North America.
In North America?
Yeah.
Okay, now is this country a sovereign nation or is it part of is it a monarchy, or what is this going on here?
It's a monarchy, as long as I understand. Okay, I don't want to give too much information.
Okay, but it is okay. So right, you don't want to give too much. There's a queen. Excellent. What about the terrain in this country? Is it mountains? Is it plateaus? What is it?
Really beautiful. If you ever have time, if you go from one end, beautiful oceanic climate, and then you go through, it's flat, and then you go over, it's mountains, and you go over. So it's there's a nice variety there.
MashaAllah. Now, what about the official language or languages of this country? This is interesting.
We got two.
We have two, which are?
English and French.
Well, how does that work? That's a bit strange.
You know what? We tease them a little bit. We kind of, kind of like a big brother to a little brother about them. But at the end of the day, we get along.
So on an official document, like your driver's license, will it be English or French?
Everything. So even if I buy a nice box of cereal, it'll have to be in English and it'll have to be in French, either on the same side or it'll have to be on the other side.
Okay.
So everything.
Okay.
Passport, driver's
license, everything. Okay. Now, but is the French community located in a certain region, or they're spread out throughout this country?
They're definitely spread out. When I was in Alberta, they have I can't think of the name, but that was known that they speak French there. But mainly it's in Quebec. That's where you have the highest concentration. And Montreal too, beautiful. If you ever get a chance.
Okay.
Montreal.
And of course you speak French. Parlez-vous français?
I don't know. All I know is je m'appelle Qasim. That's it. They forced us to learn, grade 1 through 8. But I never had a desire to learn it. So.
Well, we have a cool video, Brother Qasim, we want to check out so the viewers can get an idea what country this is. You guys at home, so stay tuned to Ramadan's Pulse and check out this cool video.
Ramadan in Canada is indeed a very, very blessed experience. There's a number of things that happen during Ramadan.
Tarawiyah and the congregation of the brothers and sisters at the masajid, different programs, lectures, seerah, different Ramadan events, and kids' activities that are taking place in different masajid.
To encourage people to come together as a community and develop in spirits and develop in the cause of Islam during this month of Ramadan. People come together also to learn about some of the ahkam, some of the rulings pertinent to Ramadan that they may have forgotten, or at least that needs to be brushed up a little bit and sharpened up. So these are some of the things that occur prior to Ramadan. One other thing that occurs prior to Ramadan is that a lot of masajid, they have these little welcome Ramadan dinners.
The food that we eat in Canada, because Canada doesn't have an exactly cultural food, of course we eat almost everything from every culture, from every nationality, because we have so many nationalities. We have experience with every food, from very mild food to very super spicy, suicidal type of food, if you know what I'm saying.
Ramadan continues, and then the last 10 days come. And the last 10 days, most of the big masajid, they try to make a good effort to try to facilitate an opportunity for people that want to make i'tikaf.
Brothers and sisters, we get another chance. How dirty have we been this year? And this is our washing, this is our purification. Allah, out of His mercy, is giving us لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that we may achieve taqwa.
Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed that video, and I want to thank, of course, Sheikh Abdul Wahab Salim for sending us his video, as well as Jabril Kiretsis. I'm sorry I can't pronounce his name. He's a dear friend. He says he's Hungarian, but I think he's secretly Greek, because that's a Greek name. But the Qasim, they sent us our videos, and I was encouraging all of their brothers to send us these videos. Tell us a little bit about that video we just saw. Tell the viewers, what country are we talking about?
Well, I think everyone should know now we're talking about Canada. And when Jibril was talking about that, about the variety of foods, that's so true. I've tried Bengali food, Pakistani food, African food, Chinese food. It's such a variety. And the beauty of Canada is the variety of people. It's a really special thing.
And brother, I want to get right back to you, but we have a Skype call from our brother Gary Larocque. Assalamu alaikum, brother Gary from Canada. Are you there? I believe Gary, of course, is a Muslim public speaker and a Muslim revert to Islam, well known throughout Canada. Brother Gary, can you hear me? I think we're going to have to get back to Brother Gary as soon as the Skype gets better. I can't quite hear him. Brother, but I believe you said in the break that you know Brother Jabril from the video.
He's from my city.
Which is?
Which is Windsor, Ontario.
Oh, okay.
And really good brother. I've known him since I've been young, and so I'm actually really happy that I saw him. So I send my blessings and my peace to
Brother Jabril. He actually emailed us. He has a cool YouTube page called Islam Dunk TV. He has all these cool videos. He told me right now he's in Canada for Ramadan, although he lives in the UAE. Brother, so you both live in Windsor, which is where in Canada is Windsor? Because Canada is so vast.
Yeah. It is the most southern city of Canada. So if Canada is like that, and it's right, we're a border city. So you have the Detroit River, and then you have Detroit.
Okay.
So we're... if you ever want to go to the States for shopping or anything, we go right there.
Oh, okay. I want to get back. I want to talk to you about the Windsor-Detroit link there. But before we do that, we have Brother Gary Larocque, as I said, a Muslim public speaker and activist in Canada. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Gary. Thank you for joining us on our program, Ramadan Pulse.
Alaikum salam. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us, brother. How was everything in Canada? Please tell us a little bit about this Ramadan in Canada.
No, it's good. It's actually it's my 6th Ramadan, and it's the weather, as you can see, is very bright. It's been very warm, which is not something we're accustomed to, warmer than usual. So it's been good. I've enjoyed it, and yeah, it's been nice.
Brother, that's amazing. You said it's your 2nd Ramadan. It's my 5th Ramadan, and as well. And each one gets a little bit easier. But I remember the first couple were a bit challenging. So it seems like you're very strong-willed, Brother Gary. Brother Gary, what time is the Fajr, and what time is Maghrib? Because it seems like you have a long fasting hours up north there.
Yeah, today it's about 4:35 a.m. As for Fajr, and we break the fast at Maghrib, which is about almost 9 o'clock. So it's a long day. It's the longest one so far.
No problem though, because the longer the struggle, the more difficult it is, the bigger the reward. Gary, please tell us a little bit about where you're calling from in Canada, and talk to us about the Muslim community there, where you're calling from exactly.
I'm from Waterloo region, which is about an hour and a half south of Toronto, which is Canada's biggest city. There's about 500,000 people in the region, but we have a population of about 15,000 Muslims. It's growing pretty quick, alhamdulillah. We've got 2 masjids now in the area. Actually, there's a couple in a couple of the cities just 15-20 minutes away. So the population is growing, and we've established a strong community.
That's amazing, brother. What is the ethnic makeup of the Muslims there, for the most part? And is there an increasing amount of Canadian Muslims reverting to Islam? Canadians, that is, reverting to Islam.
At least in my area, it's pretty regular that we get new people accepting Islam. So it's good to see. The community itself is, I guess, predominantly we have a lot of Pakistani brothers as well as Somali, and there's a lot of Egyptian brothers as well. So that pretty much makes up the bulk of the community.
Excellent. Brother Gary, I'm from the United States. I'm actually from San Francisco, California, and I always thought that Canada seemed to be the Canadians seem to be more accepting and welcoming of different cultures and different religions, and that the situation is generally peaceful and harmonious, and that you can express yourself and practice your religion without any problems. Is that the case?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, Canadians were all pretty relaxed, and actually I work with a few Americans, and they've moved up here, and they've said that they've preferred that aspect of Canada over their home country. That for some reason it's just part of the nature of Canadians that we're very welcoming, we're very multicultural. As some of the videos that the video you posted, we like. There's no Canadian food. It's hard to come up with what's called Canadian traditions. We're only a country that's 145 years old, approximately. So we're a young country. So we're very accepting of other cultures and religions. So it's a blessed place to live.
Excellent, Gary, Brother Gary. Let's speak a little bit about your production house, KBS. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about that?
Okay, sorry.
I believe that you have a dawah production.
Yes, okay, yeah, sorry, it's TSP Muslim.
Okay.
What that basically means is when I first accepted Islam, I didn't quite understand the linguistics of Arabic, so I was using Sirat al-Mustaqim. And people would ask me how to spell that, and I didn't know how to spell it. So I changed it to the straight path. But typing that out on all my information became very long. So eventually, over time, it became TSP Muslim, inshallah. So the straight path Muslim. That's kind of the branding that I've been using. I've been doing videos online for about 2 years. I'm active on Facebook, on Twitter, just to try to work against those and the misconceptions about Islam, to teach people.
And Brother Gary, that's a website.
Yeah, tspmuslim.com is my website. I do some blogging, and I post on YouTube. So I'm using all the social network tools. I have a background in graphic and web development, so I'm using the tools that I'm familiar with to kind of share Islam.
That's amazing, Brother Gary. If you can stay with us on the lines for a couple more minutes, I want to go to Brother Qasim here in the studio. Brother Qasim, how far are you located from where Brother Gary is?
Not far. I think about 3 hours from Waterloo. I have some friends that go to the university there, so it's not that far.
Canada, I mean, judging by the background of his Skype, it's so massive and beautiful.
No, it is. Really. If you ever get a chance, Vancouver, I fell in love with that. Alberta, you got the Rocky Mountains. And then you got the two oceans.
Right.
So you could spend your whole life traveling through Canada.
And what about the east? What do you have? Toronto's towards the east, right?
Yeah, towards like the Middle East. And then you have the Maritime provinces over there.
Okay.
So.
And that video, where were those clips of that? What part of Canada was that video?
I think it's hard to tell. Canada is so vast and so much, but I think it's maybe Newfoundland or somewhere one of those maritime provinces. That was that. Yeah.
Okay, but the majority of Canadians live within a couple 100 miles of the border, right?
25%, yeah.
Okay.
If you look at that, that's the majority. People live there. Just because I was there. People are complaining in Egypt, man, it's cold here. Last year, actually this year in January, I experienced minus 30.
MashaAllah.
So that's
excellent. But I want to ask Brother Gary, what about, inshallah, as you proceed in Islam in the future, you'll experience many short Ramadans as well, though, I think, up there in Canada. Short hours, not just long ones.
Yeah. I think there was a little mistake earlier. I accepted Islam actually in Ramadan 6 years ago.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so it was definitely shorter then for the fasting. So it gets long, but I mean we're coming up another year or two. We'll be into the longest part of the year, so it's going to get a little bit longer, but then it'll start to go down again. So yeah, it
all balances itself out, Brother Gary. I mean, we've been Muslim about the same time. That's wonderful. I always love to hear other people come into Islam as well. Can you briefly tell the viewers a little bit, I'm sure it's a long story, about why you became Muslim, and also tell them a little bit about new Muslims that you know in your area there in Canada?
For me, I've always had actually, it's a little bit ironic that I've always had this aversion to authority, so rules and people telling me what to do. So when I started researching Islam and the obligations that we have, which are not many. There's only a few obligations such as prayer and fasting and charity, and they're good obligations to have. They're just my family was kind of shocked that I chose a religion like this that was so kind of like that had these types of obligations. So for some reason at that a few years ago I was looking for that structure in my life. I was looking for that guidance, and Islam kind of gave me. It gave me that structure that I needed.
That's wonderful. I actually feel the same way. I want to go right back to you, although I do want to take this phone call from Sister Fatima from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Fatima. Thank you for joining us on our show. Go right ahead. Are you there, Sister Fatima?
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister. Go right ahead. You're live on Huda TV. Sister, can you hear me? I'm sorry, Sister Fatima, if you can give us a call back. So, Brother Qasim, I want to go back to Brother Gary because he looked like he was on a ranch there. Brother Gary, are you there on a ranch?
No. Alhamdulillah, I have a large backyard. There's actually a highway behind me. So what they do here is they got two options. They either put up this kind of ugly wall or in the case of the neighborhood I'm in, is a little bit older, so they actually put up a hill. So I actually have another large section of yard behind this hill. So it's used as a sound barrier to stop the noise from the highway.
Oh, I see. Brother Qasim's laughing. Why are you laughing, Brother Qasim? You're familiar with this.
No, when you said that, you reminded me when I was in grade school, our teacher told us that Americans thought that we, Canadians, live in igloos.
Well, maybe up in Alaska, maybe.
Everyone. He wasn't even joking. Like, they thought, like, literally, like, oh, you live in Canada. How do you survive? How do you do that? So
well, that's fun. Well, but Brother Gary, I only ask if you're on a ranch because I know in the United States we are suffering a little bit from the halal meat, the lack thereof. So whenever we have a Muslim with a ranch, we take advantage of that, and we go slaughter our meat there and have our Eid there. But I suppose in Canada you guys aren't suffering. You have a lot of open space. I'm sure many Muslims own halal ranches, I suppose. Right, Gary?
It's changing. I know a brother that recently bought a slaughterhouse, so that's becoming better. But I know 6 years ago when I first accepted Islam, it was difficult to find halal meat because they didn't have it in any of the stores. But the communities recognize that there's a growing Muslim population. So yeah, you can pretty much find now there's a lot of halal restaurants popping up, more and more halal. I don't know if we would call them ranches. At least in Ontario, they're just small farms with a few cattle. I mean, they're ranches that they would be out in Alberta. So, but yeah, it's definitely getting easier and it's becoming more available for us.
Excellent point, Gary. Do you feel accepted and welcomed now as a Muslim by Canadian society?
Oh, that's a tough one. Like I said, I'm a very outgoing person, so I'm I don't take things too seriously, and for the most part, the community is very welcoming. There's always those kind of struggles because people ask me about my name, how can I be a Muslim, these kind of things. So these questions come up, but there are opportunities to do dawah. But I do hear that in other areas it's not as easy for some people, but I know some brothers in very small communities out in the Maritimes, and they seem to be well accepted. So, like I said earlier, that Canada seems to have this very relaxed nature, and for the most part, we're very accepting.
Well, I respect you for your positive outlook, Gary. I couldn't agree with you more. A final question for you, Gary. I don't want to keep you too long. Let's talk a little bit about the Huda TV viewership in Canada. Are Canadian Muslims watching Huda TV? And if so, are they watching via satellite or online?
Yeah, you asked me. I really don't know. I hope that they're watching. I've been trying to help promote these kind of programs because we need them here. The TV that we have available to us is not, it's not the best television to watch. So for me and the brothers and sisters that I know, we usually watch it online via the streaming video. So. Yeah, that's actually an interesting question. I'd like to know that myself. So if you get any information, please share it.
I will, Gary. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure meeting you. I hope to have you on future programs as well. And may Allah bless your dawah work. You're a very interesting character. I hope we can have you on again sometime.
Inshallah.
Thank you, brother. Take care. Have a wonderful Ramadan.
You too.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Bye-bye.
Walaikum salam.
That was a nice, interesting call from Brother Gary there in Canada. It seems like it just highlights how beautiful Islam is and how it's spread from all around the world. Yesterday we were in Malaysia. Today we are in Canada. Tell the viewers a little bit more about this wonderful country, Canada. What makes Canada so special?
There's a lot of things. Definitely how there's so many people all over the world, how Canada's accepted that. So it's as if you don't have to travel the world and you can see the world where you are. That's special. What I like about Canadians is they mind their business. So they don't, I've been to other parts of the world where people start asking you questions, but not in a nice way. Like they're trying to, get information. So Canadians are really, as that brother said, relaxed, easygoing, caring. I remember one time I was in Vancouver, and so I dropped a can of tuna, and this lady, she picked it up right away and put it that. So like little things like that.
People are kind.
Really, they've really, things like that really touch your heart.
But I'm sorry to interrupt you. I believe we have a phone call from the United States of America. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Alaikum salam.
All right, brother. Thank you for calling Ramadan's Pulse. What is your name and where exactly are you calling from?
Well, I'm actually in Sharjah, UAE at the moment, but I'm like you. I'm from the Bay Area.
No way! I'm from San Francisco. Where are you from, brother, in the Bay Area?
I used to live actually not too far off of Castro and Main Street.
Okay, I live over there on Alabama in 18th, but I'm originally from, no, excuse me, I forgot now, between 20 and 24th. You know where that is, yeah, Alabama 24th Street, by the market there? There's an outdoor market?
Yeah, definitely know where that is.
Brother, I'm actually originally from Ukiah. It's north of Santa Rosa. Do you know where that is? Maybe not. In any event, brother, tell us a little bit about yourself. Go ahead.
Well, I converted to Islam in February, and actually through some friends here in the Emirates, and listening to Sheikh Yusuf Estes, and we have similar backgrounds. I studied theology, and I did the same thing as he did. I went back and I researched about the original origins of Christianity and the Torah, and so I related a lot with him. And plus, he grew up in the same kind of areas that I did in the Bible Belt, so I knew the kind of people that he was talking about all the time.
Brother, I couldn't quite hear. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no. And so I mean, and alhamdulillah, and it was a subhanallah that after I converted, the first Jummah prayer that I did. I had only seen him through videos on YouTube, and that had referred me to. And in my first prayer, they were handing out flyers for Dubai Peace. And when and on the flyer was Yusuf Estes, and I only made it to the first day of the Dubai Peace conference, and he wasn't scheduled actually to speak that day, and I was kind of disappointed. But the sheikh from Medina didn't make it. So he filled in for him, so I was able to get up and ask my question. I actually never got my question out and asked because I immediately was up on stage. But then, alhamdulillah, I got to go back and talk with him in private in the VIP area.
That's amazing, brother. But what mosque did you pray your Jummah in San Francisco?
Actually, when I was in San Francisco, I wasn't Muslim at that time. I converted when I worked at the UAE.
Oh, wonderful, brother. I'm looking forward to seeing you when you're back in San Francisco.
I worked as a cabin crew manager, and I used to come over and actually work for a charter airline or as a contractor.
I see. Brother, I'm sorry to interrupt you, brother. I just want you to, I would like you to send me an email at pulse@huda.tv so we can connect you with the Muslim community there in San Francisco. So when you do go back home, you can stay well connected to your deen and to the Muslims there. I can give you a hand, inshallah.
That'd be wonderful, yeah.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for calling. Give me a call tomorrow as well, okay? Thanks for calling so much, brother.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Well, that was a nice call from back home for me, from Northern California. Brother, really quickly, I wanted to read a comment, an email comment, and I encourage all of viewers to email me at pulse@huda.tv. Jabril wrote us, we saw him on the video, he wrote us this from Canada. He says, I broke fast with my mother today. I led her in prayer, and afterwards she asked me to check her Quran recitation. SubhanAllah, I was trying to hold my tears back. My mother has been Muslim for now 5 years and has read the Quran about 10 times from cover to cover. I'm so happy to see her improvement, although I haven't not done enough to help her. That's Brother Jabril, mashallah. Jabril is a believer to Islam as well as his mother. May Allah bless them both. Brother, I'm sorry I didn't get enough time to speak with you about Muslims in the beautiful country of Canada. If you can just say one thing briefly to our viewers about Canada, what would you say?
It's really a beautiful country, and I hope God protects and keeps on protecting the land.
You went from you're Bosnian by ethnicity, which is one beautiful country, and you're Canadian by nationality, which is another beautiful country. So Allah has blessed you with both these beautiful, naturally rich countries.
Yes.
So that's very nice, brother. You told me really briefly that the drinking water in Bosnia, actually, you said it was so pure and clean. In Canada too, right?
Yes and no. In the cities, not as much because you're going through those major purifications.
Right.
But the best water so far I've tasted in the world is in Bosnia.
You know what? Let's get out of the studio. Let's go to Canada. You guys, we're out of here for the day. We're going to Canada. We'll be back tomorrow for another episode of Ramadan Pulse. I'm not going to tell you where I'm taking you, but tomorrow might be a very, 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 of course, it will be a special episode. But me and Brother Qasim, we're going to get on a plane. We're out of here. We're going to Canada. So, assalamu alaikum. Peace.
Alaikum assalam.
We'll talk about Huda, we'll talk about our way. Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home. We'll talk about Huda, we'll talk about our way. Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember you are not alone. Huda is the light.